G'day, welcome to Queensland Weekender for another Saturday afternoon. If you were with us last week, you would have seen the first half of our Mangali Outback four-wheel drive tour to celebrate 2006 being the year of the Outback. We started at a tiny little town called Adavale and made our way north-northwest to the Diamantina National Park, where we ended last week's show. Well, we've moved up the track just away to the tiny town of Boulia. Now, Boulia lies at a bit of a crossroads out here. It's roughly halfway between Mount Isa in the north and Birdsville in the south, and on a diagonal line between Windora and Camberwell. We'll be heading that way later on today's show, but for now, let's get it rolling.
I just wanna wish you well. I just wanna wish
Following
you
in the footsteps of explorers Burke and Wills, settlers took up sheep and cattle runs along the major rivers in the Boulia region in the mid-1870s. The district's grasslands soon earned the reputation for fattening up stock, and the township grew and was officially gazetted in 1882. These days, Rach, she's known for two things. Any ideas?
I don't know, the best general store in all of Western Queensland?
Quite possibly, but what's really put Boulia on the map are its annual camel racing carnival and the mysterious Min Min light.
Ooh.
Can we go and check it out?
Yeah.
The Min Min encounter is on Herbert Street. Something like $1.8 million was spent on the attraction, which incorporates animatronics, fibre optics, and loads of other eerie wizardry.
If you haven't heard of or know little about the Min Min light, it basically grew from a bit of a bush yarn by those who claim to have seen what's commonly described as a glowing ball of light, which jumps all over the place but is never within reach.
One of the guys who worked on Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon worked on this as well.
You're in Boulia?
Yeah.
Passing on from Boulia, we're heading 230 odd k's north to Dajara, and it's not long before our Mangali group hits an obstacle.
It's a good example of the amount of water that's fallen here over the course of the last few months. Just got a little bit of a causeway to get through here, and Mark, the big 100 series, is, as you can see, he's up to the rails there in mud. So Wayne, in his undies, to the rescue. Adjusting our tyre pressure should see the rest of us through. Now, this is the route that Burke and Wills took. We're heading due north at the moment towards, well, a sharp left-hand turn up here where we'll head into Dajara.
Dajara!
I know, when you're sitting in sort of the air-conditioned comfort of the Prado.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And you think about how Burke and Wills must have done it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit soft, aren't we?
Absolutely.
The next folk that we run into are definitely not soft. They're a mustering mob, a combination of both Jack and Gillaroos. So the country hospitality continues in buckets with the permission of the owners who have been cruising through Chatsworth Station, and we've arrived just in time for a cup of tea and to watch the boys and girls muster up some cattle. So
here's what's going on. This muster is all about separating the weaners from their mums. Aww. There's an interesting thing about this crew. There's 7 in total, 4 of which are female. So the chicks outnumber the blokes.
Dajara sounds like a blend of coffee, doesn't it? But in all seriousness, the locals claim that their town was home to the biggest stockyards in the world, trucking by train more cattle than the American state of Texas. True or false, I couldn't tell you, but what I can confirm is that you'll always get a friendly welcome.
Well, halfway into the trip and the group are well settled into our nightly routine. Although I shouldn't say routine. Because really, what's routine about setting up camp and kicking back in the pub chatting about the day's events?
Well, this is my favourite time of the day, packing down with the big props after a big drive through the bush. And there are the boys. See, this is Roscoe and Tony, and it is a nice time of the evening, isn't it?
It's the best time of the day. Met the locals, talk to the boys.
Something about a country pub, don't you reckon?
Certainly country people, yeah. Great fun. Yeah. The booze is not bad either.
Now, after the break, we leave the Dejara Hotel to visit a pub that spruiks it's the most remote drinking water hole in Queensland.
On the Great Outdoors Monday.
Well, today is by far our longest down the road. We're going west from Dejara over to Urundangi, then straight up to Camberwell. It's all dirt today. Look how close we get to the Northern Territory border. I reckon we're in for an adventure, Dino.
I think you're right. You ready for action?
Yep, let's do it.
First stop is the Urundangi Hotel, perched right in the Northern Territory border's front yard. It's literally an oasis after seeing dust for the past few hours. Locals, if you can call them that, travel up to 300 k's to sit at the Dangi's bottle-topped bar and have a beer.
So, Jane, you're originally from Denmark.
That's right.
What's it like working in probably the most isolated pub in the Outback?
Nasty and hot.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
Love it.
Get a few characters out here?
Lots. We have just every day you've got a different character.
Yeah.
Back on the road, we continue to cling to the Northern Territory border right up to Camberwell.
It's a town that proudly declares itself as the gateway to both Queensland and the Northern Territory. Camberwell first came into existence when it was discovered by William Lansborough, who was searching for a lost Burke and Wills. Soon news of his discovery of the area was leaked to pastoralists who came here in droves and really established the area as a community. It was set up as a service centre to service the farms and surrounding area. In 1884 it was gazetted as a town, but in 1930 when Mount Isa started to roll, things started to dry up in dusty, dry old Camberwell. These days it's considered more as a suburb of Mount Isa. And this stretch of road here is considered to be the longest main street anywhere in the world. This is the Barkly Highway. It's 188 kilometres long. Though don't think for a minute that this is not a significant rural town. It's an important centre for trucking cattle and freight interstate. And behind the pub is where we're calling home tonight.
And it's happy hour back at camp. Like most afternoons, what I like to call the Nibbly Trio is effortlessly rolling out yet another lovely spread.
So you experienced campers?
I've camped pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
Although there was a break and the kids just got to that teenage stage where they wanted to do their own thing, but
Yeah.
now they've got kids.
Yeah.
We're camping again.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's a way of life for us for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And
what about Jen, my mum on the camping trip, who has made sure that I am clean and tidy at all times?
Well, we really weren't into four-wheel driving or camping until we met Mark and Suzanne.
Yeah.
And they showed us. It was just a great way of life.
It's wonderful to have women like yourselves, on a tour like this. It makes me not miss my mum so much.
Oh, thank you.
It certainly is not a bad way to while away the time before dinner. It's barbecue night.
Before we farewell Camberwell, there's a compulsory stop for any traveller passing through.